You can imagine Lesbia's reaction to Catullus 5. So wait, how many kisses are enough for you? This poem, Catullus 7, gives us and Lesbia the answer. Well, sort of. Remember, in Catullus 5, he decidedly doesn't want to know how many kisses there are. It'd be much easier and simpler, and probably not worth a poem, if Catullus could specify an exact number. But he doesn't. He gives us his answer in metaphors when essentially he wants to say, there is no limit. And to the ancients, the two easiest examples of infinity are the number of cold stars in the sky and the grains of hot sand. It's important for us to see Catullus' girlfriend not just as a normal woman, but as a well-read and highly educated one. So she's not as easily impressed with the typical, and Catullus needs to go out of his way to make sure he impresses her without sounding too intellectual and snotty. There's a fine line for Catullus between smart poetry and poetic smarts. We begin our poem with the question, introduced by our first word, quaerus. The term basiationes is one of these smart-sounding words used, maybe, to impress our smart Lesbia. It's kisses, basia, with a witty suffix, quite possibly invented by Catullus for this poem. The satis superque, at the end of our indirect question, is idiomatic for enough and more than enough. Keep that in mind for later. Our two images of infinity are both going to begin with a quam, both of which correlate to the tom in line 9. Each quam is translated as, while the tom is so. It's like so many times as. Only Catullus here inverts the order, so the as comes first. The translations of the quam clauses can be tricky unless you create a relative clause for us in English. So something like, as the great number which lies, and as the many stars which see. So why would Catullus bring us to Cyrene, a city in North Africa, specifically in line 4? It could be because one of his poetic idols, not Sappho, but the Greek poet Callimachus, is from Cyrene and a direct descendant of Cyrene's founder, Battus. Think of this connection as a shout-out to a poetic idol. The location in North Africa also allows Catullus to describe Jupiter as sweltering, which could have a double meaning with sweaty, of course, even gods sweat in the desert, and lusty, which we all know Jupiter is. Our second image of infinity moves us from the hot desert to the cold night stars. Here, only the stars are witnesses to Catullus and Lesbia's secret love, and they are complicit in keeping the affair secret with their silence. In our last 4 lines, we get the concluded answer, and again our reference back to poem 5, where we try to veil our exact number to free ourselves from the hex of the curious. The infinitive basiare takes 2 different objects, what you would kiss, and that's the basia, the kisses, and who you would kiss, the te. But this whole phrase is the subject of the est in the next line. To kiss or kissing is enough, etc. The quae, neuter plural, refers to our kisses. Per numerare is not just to count, the per prefix intensifies it, to thoroughly count up. And infinity is too much even for the curiosi. Possent is a present subjunctive showing potential, with the sense that they couldn't even if they tried. You should carry the sense of this possent over into the next clause, with mala lingua, another subject of could. These last 4 lines, especially these 2, nicely echo the first 2 lines in the poem. The quat, how many, is mirrored by the tam multa, so many. Basiationes, kisses, by the basia and basiare. The 2i goes with the te, we sano Catullo, for crazy Catullus, echoes the mihi. And the sint is reflected by the est, of course. And the satis superque is picked up by the satis et super. Of course, we haven't come to any sort of conclusion from this poem, other than that Catullus wants an infinite number of kisses. And he did an amazing job telling us that. If you want to continue exploring infinity in Catullus, check out this poem on latintutorial.com, where there are vocabulary and grammar tools to help you understand Catullus 7 better in the original Latin, as well as a bunch of other tools, videos, vocabulary, you name it, to help you with Latin.